fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social, association with Empire Fight Store, houseofboxing.com. Nearly messed that up. We're here with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, great night of boxing. We saw a lot of the kids try and do their things, some 50-50 fights. Give us your assessment first on the main event, very close fight, Shabaz Masoud. Disappointed in himself?
Yeah, I love the honesty from the team. I think firstly it was a fight that could have gone either way. I thought Shabaz was lucky to get the win. Personally scored it a draw, but it's that kind of fight, 5-5, 6-4 either way. And if it goes the other way, he's up shit creek without a paddle, quite honestly. The performance wasn't good enough. We can't tell you that he's a world-class fighter, he's going to win world titles at multi-weight class. He didn't look anywhere near that kind of level. But he's much better than that. And what I liked was, could have said, been out for 12 months. Could have said, had COVID 3 weeks ago, pulled out of Liverpool. But Ben was brilliant in his interview, as was Shabaz. And you just take it on the chin, move forward and improve. And like I said, if he's going to win world titles, it has to be a lot better than that.
In terms of impressive performances, Ishmael Davis, someone we've heard a lot about, went in there, Ewan McKenzie, one tough customer, probably could have been stopped a bit earlier than that. But what did you make of Ishmael tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was a great fight. He was a bit keen early on to impress, loaded up a little bit, but shout out to McKenzie, shout out to Dave Ritson as well in the corner. I thought the towel was really good because the kid would never give up, and I think to save the kid from getting stopped, which I think he would have done, great bit of work from the corner. I thought Mark Dickinson was really good tonight. Only his sixth fight, great punch selection. He stepped up nicely. Callum French, just not good enough, and we expect those fighters to deal with fighters like Jeff Ofori, we were really pleased for, but he is an area title, sort of borderline English title level kind of guy, and you've got to be better than that. So Callum's got to look at his performance. Cameron Vong, I thought, boxed really well against a tricky opponent that was much bigger than him. And I thought he adapted really well in the fight. I thought the Reese brothers were really exciting. And Jimmy Sainz, very heavy-handed and exciting.
Overall, though, for a next-gen show, delivered in the build-up, there was a bit of needle in it, and it delivered in the performance. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, good matchmaking, because we want to test these guys. Anytime some of our guys lose, or nearly lose, it has to be a good card, because it shows you that we're actually giving them proper fights, and that's what we need.
Obviously, we interviewed earlier on today, and you mentioned certain things about December the 23rd. I think Frank Warren was on TalkSport last week, and he said, look, there'll still be a big fight there. In terms of Frank's involvement, do you know how that will work, all coming together in terms of a broadcast, TNT, DAZN?
I mean, look, I think he's talking, obviously, about his fighters. We're talking about our fighters. All that stuff to be discussed. Like I said, we're talking to Saudi Arabia about a number of our fighters, but we'll see where it goes. It all sounds incredibly exciting. We'd love to be a part of it. It's a great opportunity for our guys, but fairly early days. We'll see what the next 24 to 48 hours brings.
In the next, obviously, if that happens, be a bit of an interesting combination, yourself and Frank Warren crossing paths. Is that something that excites you? Because remember all the years meeting up for lunch never happened?
Yeah. I mean, look, it takes someone like Saudi Arabia to bring it all together, but I think great for boxing, and again, I think for all the rivalry, he will want the best opportunities for his fighters, and so will we. So I don't really look at it like that. I look at it as the approach and the proposal for our fighters and the opportunity for them. And if it makes sense, we're all in.
Do you have an idea of when you can hope to expect some news? Because it's fast approaching.
It's fast approaching, and it's a recent development. So, everyone's moving at speed. I think that's the best way to explain it.
I spoke to Tony Sims tonight, and I asked him, first question, I said, look, how fed up are everyone talking about this? Because I'm sure you are, I am of asking. And he said, look, this has to be done within the next week or so, or else we've got to move on. Spoke to Conor, he says, look, 147, just bring anyone on if this don't get done. Is that where you're at as well with it?
Sure. This is the fight we want, but also we're not going to wait forever for that fight. So from our position, we're ready to go. Calla and Chris Eubank Jr. have to be as well. Hopefully they are this week, and then we can move forward. But Tony's right. Conor's got 5 or 6 fights that we could take quite easily, and he's ready for all those big fights. But Eubank is the one we want, and we'll see if we can progress it this week.
Has there been some stumbling blocks there? Because last time, obviously, it got done. This time round, obviously, with how things were before, weights being agreed, everything. Why is there a delay in Chris doing this when we are all done?
Because the fight's bigger. The deal's changed somewhat. Don't forget what happened before. So the animosity has changed completely. Chris Eubank is coming off a win, one of the biggest of his career, which changes his mindset a little bit. But probably just a little bit of hatred, really. which wasn't really there before. So hopefully we can put that to the side and get it made.
In all fairness to Conor, I spoke to him today and he just said, look, I'd really like Chris Eubank Sr to be involved. He even said he can come join Team Ben as an advisory role if needed. What do you make of that? Obviously, we look from the outside looking in and he talks about Harlan Ben call-out, but you must want, like everyone else, him to be involved in such a historic event because he's the reason it's happening, one of them.
He's great for boxing. Great to see him back. Hopefully he's in full health. Love to have him involved with a fight. You know, his greatest ever rival is in the other corner. So it all makes sense, but, you know, it's over to Team Eubank with that one and we'll see.
Are you putting a time frame on when this needs to get done because it's sort of dragging its heels?
Really. I mean, it's February the 3rd, so we've got time, but we need to make Conor's move. And there will come a time over the next week or so where it might change direction or it gets done. Hopefully the latter.
In terms of schedule, you've got obviously Diego Pacheco in LA, bouncing into then Katie Taylor, Belfast Michael Conlon, and then Haney Prograis. Absolutely, I was getting there, don't worry. Can't do it quite as well as you, but how pleased are you with your schedule running up to this? Because
I know we always get stick, but no one's on the same level. You know, I know people have got the one good fight or two. We got every week. We got content. We got shows, and this final run, really, Diego, but particularly from Katie Taylor, it's just a banging week. Don't forget as well on DAZN, you've got the return of Ryan Garcia against Oscar Duarte. You've got Josh Kelly fighting as well. You've got Jake Paul on the. So like the offering's unbelievable from DAZN, and I think, you know, #1 platform in boxing.
Eddie, appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.